Has this ever happened to you? You're writing some really cool code and you're using AI to help you out, but then you come across a problem. You need to ask about a tool that was created or has been updated after the context deadline, because every LLM has a cutoff period of what data they've been trained on. And without that context, it can be really hard to get the answers you need. And it's not necessarily easy to just copy and paste a bunch of documentation into either Claude or Cursor. Thankfully, with Pinata, you won't have that problem. Hi, my name's Steve, and today I'm really excited to show you ai-docs.pinata.cloud. This is a new website that has succinct documentation specially designed for LLMs. So whether you're using Cursor, Zed, or chatting with Claude, you'll have no issues getting accurate information about how to use Pinata. And it includes both the Files API and SDK, as well as our older tools such as our IPFS API and SDK. Really excited to show you guys how this works, so let's get into it. All right, so first up is Cursor, and they make it really easy to go ahead and add instructions. I'm on Mac OS, but you can use any platform you want, and you want to use the shortcut that opens the inline insertion for instructions, which I believe for me is going to be Command K. And so once I do that, I can go ahead and ask it to write code. But in this case, we actually want to reference docs or create a new doc for Pinata. So I'm going to do the @ symbol, go down to docs, and since I don't have any here, I can go ahead and click add new doc. Once I do this, I can put in a website. And so the URL you want to use here is going to be https ai-docs.pinata.cloud. Now, if you wanted to access the IPFS information in particular, you would just do /IPFS. So we're going to go ahead and add that in. We just go ahead and just call it Pinata, hit confirm. All right, and we should be all set to go. So now in here, I can actually reference those docs. So you almost saw it there for just a second, do @docs, and we can see here Pinata at the top, put that in. And now we can ask it to write some code for us. Let's say upload a file. And let's see what it gives us. And there we go, it's automatically importing the Pinata SDK. So you probably have to run npm install Pinata. And it's gonna go ahead and create a file, and it's going to upload it. It's gonna add some metadata, including key values. So really nice, shows everything that you need. And yeah, Cursor makes it really simple. Just hit that accept. And the other great thing is that Cursor actually has indexing for external docs as well. So as Pinata might update these instructions with that it become more helpful or add new features, you can just hit this re-index button and that will go ahead and pull fresh information from the site. Now for the next two, they don't actually programmatically fetch from websites. And so what we're gonna have to do is actually visit ai-docs.pinata.cloud, and you want to go ahead and copy the contents right here. This is going to be all the same instructions that we saw in Cursor just a moment ago, except we're just going to paste this into special spots to add context to our LLMs. So just ai-docs.pinata.cloud and just hit copy. If you're looking for the IPFS information, you can click on this link here, and it's the exact same thing, just copy it, and that's going to cover our IPFS APIs and SDKs. All right, so now we're in Zed, which is actually my editor of choice. I love it, and it has some pretty cool features when it comes to AI. And the way that it does context docs like Cursor is a little bit different. And so what you want to do is go ahead and click on these little bars right here, and there's going to be the prompt library. And this is where you can go ahead and add in new documentation that it can reference. We'll just hit the plus sign here. We're going to call it Pinata. And we're just go ahead and paste in all of the contents from the website we just saw earlier. And this is particularly going to be the Files API. If you want to do IPFS, you could copy those instead, maybe give it a different name. And once we have that, we're all set to go. And what we can do is inside of our AI assistance panel, do / and do prompt, and you'll see that Pinata is auto-populated here. And so now I can go ahead and ask a question like upload a file. We'll keep the prompt the same as we did back in Cursor. All right, and you can see here that it's actually going to write some code for us. It's actually going to do a local file, which is pretty cool, and shows how to use that. And of course, you know, when it comes to the context, you can actually do the same thing here with AI code insertion. So we can do prompt, Pinata. I'm going to say, let's say it's command enter, right? Yep, and we'll just say upload a file. And that's going to do the exact same thing that Cursor does, and it's going to go ahead and put everything together, and it's almost the exact same code. Very cool. And for our last example, we'll show you how you can use this context even in a web app like Claude to ask questions about the Pinata documentation. So with Claude, all you have to do is copy the contents from the website we saw earlier, and just paste it in here, and it's going to have the pasted text in here, and that's going to provide the context. And so now we can go ahead and ask a question, say, write a simple function that uploads a file. And once we do that, it's going to reference our context, and it's going to go ahead and create the code for us to use. Well, that's a wrap for this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, feel free to drop them in the chat below. We'd love to chat with you guys and see what you are building with Pinata. So until next time, happy pinning.